Hey everyone, OJ here. Decided to finally do another podcast. I haven't done one in quite some time. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I actually did post a video. Um, Ages ago. I have no idea. It's definitely been months. I have been playing a lot of Fortnite. One thing I have been pretty steady on is putting out my TombRaider videos, which is, I mean, so far I'm liking Tomb Raider 2. It is really fun. But other than that, let me just jump into what's going on with me recently. For the past, I want to say 3 weeks, it all started going to the dentist, and you can imagine how this story is going to end up when you start going to the dentist. Anyway, I was just going to I have two cleanings per year that I go to, which is like, every 6 months, honestly. So I went to my last, I'm blanking here. My last, cleanup, and just the usual, the clean the tartar off my teeth, whatever it is. Um, Tell me to floss more, and for a while now, I've had this one molar. It's had a cavity, but on the X-rays, it looks like pretty minor, nothing serious. And this time, I went ahead and decided, you know what? I have been noticing that molar that they keep picking at. They always pick at it with the little bitty metal instruments and tell me, does that hurt? I'm like, no, it doesn't. So they just shrug it off, like, hey, whenever you get a chance, get that fixed, or next time, or if it does start bothering you, come back in immediately. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So, anyways, for some reason, I decided, you know what? For the past couple years, that's been an issue. Go ahead and fill it in. Take care of that cavity. I just want to get rid of it. So I go in. I want to say like a week later. I believe it's like on a Monday, and they start drilling my tooth, and the my dentist says, like, hey, wow, this this cavity is pretty deep, deeper than normal. It's and he's drilling more. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting close to the roots. We're gonna go ahead and fill it, and there's a 50% chance it might take, and there's a 50% chance it's not gonna work at all. And after 2 days, like, I'm pretty sure he must have hit the roots, or the cavity itself was already pretty much right at pain's door. I just wasn't paying attention because I haven't had this much pain since the first time I needed a tooth extracted, because the cavity went all the way down to the root. This one, I guess it was just about there, and once the filling put pressure on that nerve, it was painful to say in the very least. Anyways, that thing, I thought it might have just been, my tooth being sore, because he was drilling into it. It wasn't like your typical cavity, but like the slightest thing would set it off. Like, it would just start throbbing with pain for no reason. If I try to drink water at room temperature and water hit that tooth, instant pain. I tried warm water, still instant pain. I tried hot water, still instant pain. I tried salt water. Even trying to just use mouthwash was painful. So for the next, I dealt for that for about a week, and then I went back to my dentist saying, "Hey, I need to do something about this. This is killing me." And then all they could do was just schedule me for another day for them to do service on my teeth, which would have been the following Friday. So that's I basically went through 2 weeks of pain, and here recently, which would be Friday, finally got that tooth out. I can actually drink water, without it hurting. I mean, it's still a bit sore, but I just had a tooth ripped out of my head. So, long story short, I'm missing a molar. It's still a little bit sore, even as I talk. I can feel it, but like it's like day and night. This is way better than the pain I was going through. This is like insignificant compared to the tooth pain I had been suffering through for all of this time. Other than that, I'm trying to talk a little bit better in my videos. mentioned it before about enunciating. I do mention that I have breathing problems with allergies. It's an ongoing situation. It's a lifetime thing I have to deal with. But and it's also part of the reason my if you pay attention to me, like my words kind of slur together. I don't take pauses where I should, and the pauses that I do take is usually because I'm thinking or I have a lost train of thought or I'm trying to word it out before I speak it. Okay, now the next thing on my list that I wanted to cover is Fortnite. For the past, I want to say 3 weeks, Fortnite's kind of been meh because they should have already done the new season event, which they pushed back because everybody's saying it. It's pretty much just greed. Um, for their logic for doing this is that they need more money to pay for the servers that people are playing on because there's just too many people playing Fortnite. And they just don't have the money to keep these servers going. So to alleviate that or fix it so we can continue playing Fortnite, they're gonna have to up. They're not upping the price, which is good, but they are upping. They're downqualing how much you get for what you pay for. So you're paying the same price, but you're getting less. Kind of like they're basically putting inflation. Like I don't know if you remember, like back in I want to say it was like 2016 ish, 2015. Everybody started noticing, like in a bag of chips, the bag itself would be like, oh, in a new, bigger size, more for you. However, the bag just had more air and less chips, so you're paying the same price for less chips and more air, if that makes any sense. So Fortnite's basically jumping on the bandwagon. It's like, hey, y'all guys are paying for these skins, which have no. They're just purely cosmetic. They don't help you win the game, but placebo effect, maybe. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's because they're doing all these collabs, and when you're doing as many as collabs as Fortnite is doing, I don't know if they have the money to back up all these collabs. I mean, because they're putting, all these music artists, and I'm pretty sure they're not cheap. And now they just merged with Disney, so I don't know how much that contract cost them to make. Uh, I know they're adding a lot of Warner Brothers characters, so they got to pay royalties to that. I'm pretty sure they get a profit based off of the percentage of what they sell. So pretty much they're using the public to cover their debt, which kind of sucks. Which is why when the new season should have started on the 7th, because their whole thing was the 7 are coming, 7 this, big deal on the 7th. Then it gets pushed the whole 2 weeks because that's when the price the price difference happens. You get less Vbucks for the same price, which that really sucks. It's like buying a gallon of milk and they tell you, "Oh, you're buying a whole gallon." Well, you're not buying a whole. It's still a The bottle's still a gallon, but it's only halfway full now, and you either have to either buy two jugs to make 1 gallon, or just be happy with the half gallon you get, even though they're calling it a whole gallon, and you're not. You're not getting a whole gallon. That's basically the situation going on. I mean, I really like Fortnite. It's a fun game to play, especially if you got bros or somebody to play with. Excuse me. You just drop in and try to win the match. That's pretty much all there is to it. Other than that, I have been playing a whole lot more Overwatch. It did have a spill of I don't know what it is with how Overwatch is programmed, but every now and then it just goofs up and all my preset controls get messed up, and I don't know what happened this time. I was using my keyboard, but because I play TombRaider, I use an old school controller. I don't know where it is because I use the tank controls on the old TombRaider games. Anyways, I noticed that I couldn't move anything, using WASD, and I was like, oh, it's probably because I have the controller plugged in. So I went ahead and controlled it, unplugged the controller, and I think I exited out of Overwatch, came back in, and all the input settings were zeroed out, meaning they weren't key bound to anything. It was just blank. Like you cleared it out with no intent of replacing it with any other key. So as you would imagine, I really got mad about that. I was super aggravated. Had to rebind a lot of stuff, find my mouse sensitivity to where it worked for me. It was a pain in the butt, but got that up and going. I got that up and going. I'm gonna start playing more Overwatch. I just enjoy it. I've been playing it pretty much since the release, and basically on that subject, me and my homie would always be talking crap or blaming stuff on Jeff Kaplan, but it turns out Jeff Kaplan isn't all that bad. Apparently, the reason he left Overwatch, or at least the team, was money issues. Where if he didn't fire, I think I don't know if it was 100,000 or like 100 employees, because they need to do budget cuts, and the budget cuts was, hey, get rid of all these people, and he didn't want to be the bad guy. You know, they're basically forcing him to be the bad guy, and he didn't want to be the bad guy. So instead of being the bad guy, firing 100 plus people, he decided to just quit. Because otherwise, if he didn't fire those people, they're gonna fire him anyway. So it's like, well, you can't fire me. I quit. This is it. So he's on new projects. I hope they're gonna be good games. Looks like he has some moral integrity, which is very rare in this day and age. Most people will be like, screw it. I'm gonna keep my paycheck going, and I'm gonna fire 500 people, which is messed up. It's a stupid dilemma. It shouldn't happen in the first place. But hats off, my hat to Jeff Kaplan for being a decent human being. Man, I'm going through my list pretty fast. So either I need to talk more, or this is just going to be a short podcast. Let me see where I'm at minute wise. 13 minutes. 13 minutes isn't bad. I mean, I talk way more than that in general. I want my camera to be a little bit higher because I just noticed my character is squinting more. Let me up my camera. That's a little bit better. I turned double blinking on because I don't want that weird I just have one eye going off like crazy. But then again, who said this has to be a long podcast, It could be short. 30 minutes. That's really a short podcast. I'd rather it be an hour, but I guess I can't be too choosy. I mean, I am just trying to come up with topics to talk about. Sure, I'm sniffing a lot, but I am having difficulties breathing. Give me a second. I'm going to try and take care of that. But other than that, I am looking more into like the Overwatch character drops. I do want to get Ben 10 when it comes out. Probably the Kingdom Hearts collab. I thought I just saw something. Kingdom Hearts collab for sure. Other than that, I guess we'll be playing it soon. I did want to start making Overwatch videos again. I don't know if I just want to be lazy and do a whole video dump and then possibly just do key moments to where you can just click on the timestamp when stuff actually happens versus me trying to cut it all out. And I mean, I'll still add music. I like that aspect. I do like it when me and my brothers and my friend are just hanging around, goofing off, and then, either we get attacked, surprise attacked, or, win a fight. I mean, it's pretty neat. Those are more time consuming, which is why I haven't done it. It's easier to do a let's play with, TombRaider or Small Saga, which I've been playing recently. I even did a recent demo playthrough of Yakitori and Yap Yap. We definitely need to play more Yap Yap. We just haven't done it. I have been coming up with more ideas as for, videos and content. I did have a pretty good idea here recently. I wanted to do, because I have a disdain for AI, but there's some instances where it does work and help out, especially if you're a one-man band trying to run A YouTube channel such as myself, I have been using it for voiceovers and small Saga video, and I'm using it for thumbnails just because you gotta have a good thumbnail, and it is time consuming, and it's way much easier to use AI for a thumbnail. Most of the time, I just dig through the game that I'm playing, for a perfect moment or something that was interesting, and I make a thumbnail out of that. But as of right now, I've been using Chat GPT for thumbnails. Anyways, my newest idea, because I'm gonna have to start paying to use it because AI is really not dependable as far as when you give it a prompt to do. You have to be super oddly specific, and even then, whatever it decides to do may not be the result you want. So you have to do it multiple times. So it's not without its um, bugs. It's not perfect, which is I think they give the average user if you don't have an active account that you pay for, you only get like 5 free prompts, and after that you got to wait 24 hours for it to reset. And which is kind of bogus because sometimes it doesn't give you what you want, and you're just gonna have to wait till the next day. So I'm probably gonna end up paying for a Chat GPT, which is inexpensive. I think it's like $8 a month, and I believe it's unlimited amounts of prompts. As just the speed of whether you want to process fast or slow. That's what you pay more for. So $8 is all right with me. If I gotta wait, I gotta wait. Besides, I can just edit more videos or do something else while I'm waiting for it to process, which isn't very. It's not that long. It's like having to wait between 10 seconds to 60 seconds. Big deal. Anyway, my current idea is to take pictures from different cartoons or maybe something that I've drawn in the past. And what I really want to do with like cartoon characters, mainly background characters or one-off characters that were just integral for the one episode. Anyway, my idea is to take these characters, and my first one I want to do from the cartoon Clarence, not Clarence himself, which I probably should do anyway. There's this one episode where he's with some girl and they're trying to find a rock, and I was like, it'd be interesting because the characters in Clarence are so basic, turning them into more of like an anime character. So I want to do my rendition and how long it takes versus whenever I use AI, be like, hey, take this image, turn it into an AI character. Because I did the same thing with one of my TombRaider thumbnails. I made it in Chat GPT. Is my latest one where she's on the ship, just lounging around on the couch. I put it in Grok, and Grok wanted to give me some options to change it. One of the options was to make it, into an anime picture, which makes a lot of sense since, Otaku J, anime games and whatnot. And it did turn it, I think it kept everything the same except for Laura. They made Laura, an anime character, which to me came out pretty good. And they gave you two different styles to choose from. But for some reason, it's not foolproof, or I don't know how to use it correctly because I took one of my old drawings and I'm like, hey, take my old. It was an anime girl, which she's supposed to be my mascot. I just haven't used her at all or much. Anyways, that's a long story. I need to use it. Anyways, I took my character and I told Grok, hey, change this into the Studio Ghibli style. And it didn't change much. I think it added like some frills to her hair. I'm like, this isn't the way a Studio Ghibli character looks like. It's like it goes. A Ghibli character is more basic, but still within like it's like a basic manga format, not so much as anime. And it couldn't even do that. So I'm like, okay, we'll change it into like an up to date anime character, and it just changed the colors a little bit brighter and blended it a little bit more. And my image that I drew was still the same. So I'm like, it didn't change anything. I don't know if it was because my character was already looked like an anime character, and it's like, well, it's anime, so it just copied and pasted basically. It didn't really do much. Anyways, it aggravated me that it was able to change TombRaider into an anime character, but it won't change an anime character already into an anime character to a new one, or change the style at the very least. That was kind of weird. But that's gonna be my new idea. I'm probably gonna do it here pretty soon. Just notice I'm talking kind of fast, especially when I get excited about an idea that I have. I do talk faster, so I'm trying my best to slow it down. But pretty much anybody that knows me, I guess they're used to my my fast speech. My other idea is to make sculptures with clay. I watch a lot of in my free time. I like to watch people do custom figures and just make stuff out of clay in general. I don't know if you're familiar with North of the Border, and the guy I watch for Dragon Ball stuff. It's like John something. I'll put it here, somewhere to my left or to my right. Anyways, this guy, I really like his videos. He does a lot of who else does custom figures? Oh, there's also a small YouTuber that I watch, Pink GameCube. She does custom Sonic figures. She has, her own fan character. I mean, once you get into the Sonic fandom, I mean, it's pretty much you're gonna make a fan character. They even have a whole game based off of being a fan character. Oh, what game is that? I can't remember the name of the game, but it's. I mean, it's real. Like that's crazy. But yeah, I plan on making sculptures with clay or taking figures and customizing them. I bought some. What were they? It's those anime figures in the entertainment section or electronics section of Walmart. They have these. I think one of them is Bandai, like Ultimate something. Like they're good as far as articulation is, but they kind of the detail is kind of it's passable. It's not the best, and then usually the hair or the eyes and mouth are the like I'm it gets you to the point like, well, I'm not gonna pay $30 for this when you can pay an extra 30 or 40, depending on what kind of figure you want. Get you an I said FSH SH figure arts figure and have multiple face plates, different hands, couple of accessories, really good stuff. Because I think I have the Lupin ones when they did the re-release, which was I love that when that happened. But I'm gonna take these basic figures that you can get at Walmart, and I have one of Midoriya from God dang, what's the name of that anime? I stopped watching it. My Hero Academia, and I can't remember this dude's name. Is it Inosuke? Is it Inosuke? God dang it, let me figure this out. It is Inosuke from Demon Slayer. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I got my iPad right here, to help me out. So I'm gonna have to flip back through too many windows while I'm recording here. Let me get back to it. There we go. And so yeah, I kind of want to fix up the Inosuke figure, give it a better paint job, make the paint job match the character. I mean, these figures are mass produced, so everybody can have one, and they're trying to do the most cost effective way. So the sculpt and the painting is gonna suffer, in situations like that. I also wanted to try making like my own figures. I don't know why I want to add the joints to them because you can buy joints and your figure can move and whatnot. kind of wanted to start it off with. I know most of the people here are not going to be familiar with the older anime called Armitage the Third. I have a figure that McFarlane Toys did. I guess when was that? It's a '90s anime. I don't know when exactly it was released. Good anime. The dub was decent. A lot of good voice actors. For some reason, they got Elizabeth Berkley and Jack Bauer. What's his name? He was in Lost Boys. Keith Sutherland to voice the guy, the main character. I don't know his name. And Armitage, Elizabeth Berkley, which is she. Most people know her as Jessie from Saved by the Bell. Again, people watching this are probably like, "What's Saved by the Bell? Who's Jessie?" Never heard of Elizabeth Berkley. They might have heard of Keith Sutherland, just because. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, 24 was a big deal, but how long ago was 24? Jesus, I don't know. But it's kind of odd for I would say TV or mainstream actors to be in an anime like that, to dub it over anyway. I really want to go back and watch a lot of the old anime that I have from the 90s in Japanese with subtitles, because over there being a voice actor is has been a big deal for years, decades really. Whereas in the US, I think dubbing in the 80s and 90s, as far as the anime market was practically, I want to say brand new, or just not a huge market. So there wasn't a lot of talent. There was a few, just not a whole lot, and it ended up with a lot of bad dubbing, or just not good dubbing in general. Well, once we get into the late 90s and early 2000s, that's when American dubbing gets decent. It's not always the best, but it becomes decent at a point. Now it's really good. Now they try to find the best voice actors for the job, and you hear, I can't remember who voices Fujiko, but you hear her voice actor in just about everything. And at one point in time, Spike, what's that guy's name? Hold on. Stephen J. Bloom. Stephen J. Bloom was pretty much every anime character's voice, which is kind of weird because he even did a few cartoon ones. I think he does Vilgax in Ben 10 and Jamie in Megas XLR, which that's got to be his best role, because he plays he basically just plays a slacker. I kind of want the eyes to messing with my camera, guys, because it looks like I'm squinting, especially when I'm looking up and away. But yeah, Steve J. Bloom used to be in everything, and it's crazy because there's the anime. I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes long. It's one of the manga core things, and I have an advertisement for it in one of my magazines. Goku 2, The Midnight Eye. Anyways, I think a lot of voice actors that became big, they make an appearance in that specific one, which kind of threw me off for a loop. Let's see. Also, here recently, I'm making sure I'm recording. I could just be talking off the cuff and not recording. Recently, in the last anime convention I went to, I bought a mystery ball joint doll. For those of you who they suffix it for BJD, I don't know. That's just what they call them. The ones that I've seen are moreover like, I want to say more like porcelain dolls in a sense, but a lot of them are anime-ish, and they've been around since, as far as I remember, I want to say at least 2006 6-ish, because I used to have a couple of friends online that were obsessed with them. Didn't care for them. Anyway, I was at a convention and I bought one recently because I like the way the character looks. A lot of times when I go to anime conventions, I really don't look for mainstream stuff or popular, whatever the hottest anime is, because I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff now. I mean, I'm more focused on either playing games or making content and then watching the stuff that I like or the stuff that I'm really interested in. I mean, there's only so much time in a day and there's only so much time you can dedicate to doing, just leisurely watching when you can be doing something productive. And here lately, I've been leaning more towards the being more productive and just having leisure time, mainly because I'm trying to build a channel and eventually, I'm trying to get income or make something as far as t-shirts and merchandise that people will like, and have a steady income off that instead of having to work a 9 to 5. That's the main goal. So gotta stick with it. What was I talking about? Conventions. Yeah. I normally don't buy stuff that's, mainstream. There's some stuff that I do. If it was something I like back in the day and somebody has a poster of it, I'll definitely get it. But usually at an anime convention, I try to look for stuff that people are selling that is an original character that they've made that they think is good, or it's a character that they've made and it's their favorite and they've drawn it multiple times, and hey, why not sell an image of it? That's the stuff that I typically look for. I don't try to look for, I like Hunter x Hunter, but I'm not actively looking for Hunter x Hunter stuff. Sometimes I am, but most of the time I'm not. Anyways, one of the reasons I like these I think I'm wording this wrong. Anyways, as I was looking through a bunch of stuff, I found this lady who was selling figures, but I noticed that she was selling figures that weren't actually a part of anything. They weren't part of a show or a movie or a manga or a game. It wasn't part of that. It was just a blind box of an anime character girl. There was like 10 of them. You're going to get one of 10. And there was this really good figure. Let me get my box real quick so I can look at it. And, I'll post a picture on it, whether it's to my left or to my right. So anyways, I found these. They're called Light Nightmare Twins, which you have on the box here. I'm moving my head a lot. You have like it's like the same girl, except one has blonde hair, the other one has white hair. The skin tone looks the same. They both have the same dress, but one is angelic, and the other one, it's the same angel, except the horns, the dress, and the wings are black, and the hair's white. Whether the other one is more angel-like, she has the oh, those aren't horns; those are feathers on her head, I guess. Yeah, feathers on her head. And then she's got the wings, blonde hair, white dress. They look pretty neat for $40. You get it's basically a blind box. There's 8 of them. 2 of them are going to be the more rare ones, which is the light and dark version. You get a set of faces, wings, the dress, and then the different hands, which I thought was pretty neat for $40. I'm like, dang, that's a pretty good deal. I got there's multiple ones. I got I mean, I gotta switch my Google Translate because I can't read Moonspeak. The one I got is Prayer, and for some reason I don't know how they named these or what the situation is, but hers is Blessing Candy, and I'll show a picture of that one. She's actually the image on the box, which is cool because I thought that was pretty neat, and I got pretty much got the one that I wanted. That would have been kind of neat to get one of the rare ones, but I did get the girl on the box, so that was pretty cool. She wears the hats that I like. girls to wear anyway. The thing about these figures, I mean, they're called they're called dolls. I refuse to call them dolls because you play with dolls, and these are figures because you don't play with figures. You just set them in a pose, and you pretty much just keep it that way. It's just something to look at, just like the statue figures. Only this one, you can with these you can actually change the pose, change the clothes, change the faces, and group them up. And if you have like miniature furniture and all, I see people on Twitter or X, they have little setups where like they're either at a cafe or at school. People, I don't know, people just go with it. I mean, collecting stuff has been around forever. And anyways, I got that one. And here recently got another one, which did not have extra faces, but it did have the hands. They're really good sculpt. You can pose them. And this one was in English. It had Sugary Girls on there. And I actually have a book by, I have it over here. One of my favorite artists that I found at the store Kinokuniya. There's this Japanese artist, Iku. I'm probably butchering the name, so please forgive me. Iku Uedkura. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, she has. I'm assuming it's a she, because normally girls are able to draw this cute and frilly stuff. I mean, guys can too, but I imagine girls would be doing it more. Because I don't know. I'm just assuming. Don't kill me for assuming their gender. The two books that I think she has another one, but I really didn't care for that one. But the ones that I did find are Tea Party, and the other one is Sugary Girls. So that's what that kind of reminded me of. But I think the figure that I bought is Korean or Chinese in nature, whereas I believe Iku Uekura is Japanese. I'm just assuming because I believe Kinokuniya is it strictly Japanese imports or just Asian imports in general? I don't know, don't remember. But it is a fun store, neat store to go to. Very pricey. But I mean, it's a lot of imports from Japan. Some stuff you can get at a good deal, sometimes you can't. I think I got my Sugary Girls um for $20 because it was on Amazon, whereas I believe Kinokuniya charged 30. And for my Sugary Girls, um yeah, that's the one. I don't know how much, because Tea Party is 3,000 yen, which I'm pretty sure they charge way more than that in US dollars because it's a Japanese import. Anyway, the reason I bought these books is because I want to mimic the art style or draw something in that art style. I like to draw cute things. I like and hate it at the same time only because in high school, everything I drew ended up looking cute, and I hated that. And I wanted to draw something um, more mainstreamish. I don't know if it's because of the books that I was learning off of had a little bit of a cute art style, and that just kind of stuck with me. I'm kind of annoyed by that. I used to hate it. Now I embrace it because girls love cute things, and they will buy cute things. So if I ever need to fall back on anything, I can always depend on that. And some people can't make things cute. And some people can't make things look awesome or scary or manly-ish or mainstreamish. So it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. Which is why I wanted to draw the cartoon characters from different series that were either one-off or background characters into up-to-date characters, because I thought it'd make for good content, a good video. and it lets these obscure characters shine past whatever they were giving. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. But as far as the ball joint dolls, I mean, they're just for display only. You got to be super careful with them. They're made out of a special resin. So the clothes that you do put on them, they can't be dark because for some reason, whatever they're made out of, whatever special plastic they're made out of, they will stain. So if you have bright colored clothes, you need to change them out every week into something lighter. As long as it's white, it's not going to stain because it's white. It has no pigment. But once you start putting clothes on these figures that do have pigment, you kind of got to be careful just because of the fact that you don't want that color to stain on the doll, which that kind of sucks. But I like them. I mean, figure. I didn't mean to say doll. I meant figure. So, anyways, I got two of these, and I have one on display, and she wears white clothes with a little bit of color, so I don't have to worry about that one. And that was the one from the Sugary Girl series, whereas the one I got from the Twin Angels one, that one she has uh, black in her clothing, so I got to be careful with that. I mean, they all pretty much have colors outside of black. This one's got blue. This one's got pink. This is more of a purple pinkish one. Anyways, I'll put one either here or here. I'll do my whatchamacallit trademark nod here or my trademark nod there. Okay. Hey, this is going way better than I expected time wise. Just like in Shrek, the trick is not that I can talk. The trick is getting me to shut up. Okay, so I've covered TombRaider content. Went ahead and here recently, 4, 5, and 6. Went ahead and bought it because it was on sale. Kind of want to go through the whole series now, just because I'm liking the whole having to critically think and solve puzzles in general in a game. I mean, that's part of the reason you play a Tomb Raider game because that's half the fun is figuring out what to do. Now, sometimes it's just mind-numbingly frustrating, and they've created a puzzle or something that you need to do action-wise extremely difficult, and that can be frustrating. I normally try to edit all the boring parts where I'm just running around in circles, go here and back, here and back, here and back, and then it's like, oh, this is what I needed to do. So I try to keep it, you know, the long, boring parts out as much as possible. So anyway, I went ahead and bought 4, 5, and 6. I want to hold off on playing 1. So after I beat 2, I'll probably jump to 4, then 5, and then 6. Because I'm really waiting for one of the newer Tomb Raider games to come out. I'm trying to make sure my mouse icon wasn't in the way. But anyways, I plan on making more Tomb Raider content. So far, the consensus is 2 is better than 3 so far, mainly because I want to say they had to be more innovative after the first one. They got to make the second one even better. The third one did implement more features like quality of life. It has the running, the dodge roll. But I think as far as puzzle solving, they made it a little bit more mainstream and difficult is what I'm getting off of my feedback. Whereas I guess maybe I'm guessing a lot of people complained that maybe 2 was a little bit too hard. I do remember seeing in my shorts that someone made a comment about the game having way too many traps and being notorious for being difficult. Which I mean that's part of the fun. So that's probably why 3 came out not as hard, even though the some parts I definitely feel that they needed a strategy guide. And I mean they did have a strategy guide, but man, is it just frustrating as heck. And I've also noticed here on the internet, not so much anywhere else, especially YouTube. Apparently, the TombRaider games got an update, which it didn't affect my playthrough or my files, but for a lot of people, they either lost all their progress, and I think they added costumes or something like that. And people are complaining that the costumes suck for Laura, and that whatever update they did, now they got to restart and get all the secrets again because whatever patch they did, it really screwed up their save files, and a lot of people are mad about it. So far on my end, it hasn't been an issue, but I've only just been playing recently. I'm guessing it's probably for people who haven't touched the game in quite a while. I'm not too sure. Or it was just specifically if you got all achievements. I didn't. I know I missed quite a few secrets on TombRaider 3 and got most in 2, just not all of them. There was one that I have no idea how to get it. So, and again, I'm playing this just to have the game out there. I'm not trying to 100% the whole game itself. Also, Small Saga, the little bitty mice game that I played recently. Did you like it? I like it. It's a pretty neat game. Playing it, it's pretty much a breeze. The only thing that I'm having difficulties with is putting in the AI voiceovers in, which it's just, I wish there was a way you could just select all the files that you want. Not so much files, but the segments. All the segments of when the character speaks that I want it to be translated into, sorry, I'm moving too much, into the AI voiceover. I want it to select all of them once and then just have it render and change it, which right now it's kind of weird because you have to do a whole sentence or segment uh, by occurrence. You can't, you can only do them one at a time. So I got to select what I want to be translated because you're having dialogue between characters, so you don't want the following dialogue to be translated into a different voice. Otherwise, you're just gonna have the same voice all, throughout the whole video. So you got to select the part that you want, then it's gonna give you the option to change it, which one you want, and then this is what peeves me. It also gives you it's good that it gives you the option to listen to it, but it wants you to listen to it each and every single time, and it doesn't go to the specific instance or at the spot that you want to change. It goes all the way back to the beginning of the video, and when it replays at that point, you can hear it from the change, which is dumb because it should just give you the option to hear it for the selection you just made, not hey, it's gonna play the video from the beginning and then you have to reach all the way up to say that I don't have to change your voice until the 5 minute marker. Well, it's gonna replay the video back at zero, back at the intro, up until it gets all the way to the 5 minute marker, and then you can hear the change. So that's just dumb. It should. I think. I mean, it's a new feature that they're offering in the software that I'm using, which is great. But the downside that I don't like is you can't just pick all the sections that you want all at once and then change them all together, which would be which would be time saving on my end. I wouldn't have to go through this over and over again. But as it is, you make a section, you pick a voice, it renders and wants to go all the way back to the beginning, which makes no sense. Then it changes it. So immediately after I don't listen to the preview, I just hit apply and I play it from there. And if it sounds right, it sounds right. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have to redo it. But it's just a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which sucks when I could just, like I said, if I could just pick all the spots that I want to change now, then change them all at once versus waiting is my other option is I do have a voice over voice mod which back in the day was great because you could just do everything on PC, which that's what it was meant for. A lot of people use voice mods in streams, trying to sound like different people or like a robot or like have like a really deep voice or something like that. And it was great up until I want to say a year, about a year. Yeah, last year. It had to have been last year. Was it even before that? Anyways, a year or two ago, they decided that they wanted to make the program that they had more mobile app friendly, and that it just whoever they have programming it didn't do a good job because it was crashing. It was crashing your computer. So like as soon as you boot that program up, it would freeze everything. You couldn't do anything. You had to turn your machine, your PC off, turn it back on, and then it would try to run this. My computer would try to auto open it for quick access use, and when it would do that, it would just crash my entire system, and everything would be frozen. And I had to. Let's just say it was a pain in the butt having to turn off the auto feature so that way it wouldn't crash my system. I finally figured that out as a pain in the butt. So ever since it was crashing, maybe they fixed the bugs since then. But because it was crashing and I couldn't use my PC whenever I wanted to, I just stopped using the program altogether. They have an app where you can change it on the fly, which would be easier for me. I just haven't used it yet, only because I have a sour taste in my mouth, with how their service was causing me problems versus being the software that I needed to use that I thought was going to be great. Another thing that sucked that they took out is the voice smart part is great because it can change your voice or the words that you're saying, and it'll digitize it to whatever voice that you're trying to do it, male, female, animal, robot. It basically just changes it. However, they also had they also had text to speech where you didn't have to speak. You can just type it out and it would do it for you. And I am aware there's a different program. I don't know the name of it. I've saw videos for it on YouTube, advertisements because I had been talking about it at one point or another, where not only will they give you a voiceover digitized, that's like digitized, but it's AI. Not only will it give you the AI voice, but it'll also you have options for emotion, whether you want them to say angrily, sadly, scared, hesitant, joyful. Like you have the option to make it instead of just the one monotone voice. Which I wish I remembered the name of that program. I could probably just do some digging and sorry. I'll find it eventually, but as of right now, I don't know where it is. And YouTube robots, if you're listening, I would like that ad again so I can find it. But anyway, voice mod, they did it to where it was more tablet friendly, but it was not PC friendly. Hopefully they fixed it. Maybe after this video, I'll look into it and give them the benefit of the doubt. But fingers crossed, I do hope that it works. And if I can do the voice modding on the fly versus having to go back and edit, that would save me a buku amount of time. So I am looking forward to that. Other than that, I really do like Small Saga. It's like a little old school RPG with mice, and they're placed in the world where they think humans are like they're the tall god beings that control all, and they fear them. I mean, because no one likes rodents in general, so it's pretty neat to see a world of perspective from little small animals. I believe Dungeons and Dragons is coming out with a game. I'm really looking forward to that one. There was one recently where you're a mouse in a forest and you're trying to find your aunt. I think I had high hopes for that one, but the reviews are disappointing, and it's more of a scavenge and make your home look good more than an immersive storyline, detailed game, which kind of sucks. I would have liked more story. I mean, I haven't played it, but I see the complaints about it, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I was planning on getting it, not so much now. But Small Saga, I like it so far. You know, you're a little mouse dude, and the beginning is you're basically trying to get food for your home, colony, family, whatever you want to call it. And then there's also other little small animals like a squirrel and a mole, and like you become a swordsman. You become like a great swordsman, but you're using a pocket knife, which is crazy. They call it a god tool or god item or something like that. Anyway, so far it's interesting. I like it. I want to post more about it. Unfortunately, from what I've read in the reviews, the game is shorter than what people want it to be. But even if it is short, I'm having a blast playing it. I'm just having a problem editing the voices into it, which I will get back on very soon. Is just going to be a pain in the butt. I also asked my sister if she liked the game, and she didn't like it because I don't want to give spoilers, but one of the characters gets offed in the game. I don't want to say who, and it is kind of sad to see when you know, a character that just to get eliminated from the series, which is kind of brings me to like old school Disney movies and whatnot. Like as a kid, something like that is traumatizing. I don't know if you ever watched Land Before Time. A lot of 80s movies, 90s movies, like they made children process the concept of death. I want to say too much at an early age, but it does add perspective into like oh my gosh, like I don't know if it makes you it's messed up, but it also makes you appreciate what you have and the time you have with the people in your life. In my opinion, uh, it's a double-edged sword, but I think it pays off morally in the long run. I had planned on getting more podcasts, where I'm just talking like this out quicker and faster, but I've been running into the issue where like for work I have to commute about an hour to an hour and a half each day. Going to work it's an hour, coming back at least an hour more. It just depends. Traffic is bad. That's just my commute. I have to deal with it. Fortunately, my job pays really well, so it makes it worth it on that end. So I thought, you know what? I can kill the long hour drive by talking. I'm going to be talking anyway eventually. So why not record and talk at the same time while I'm driving? I know a lot of people do it in general. Some people live stream during their commutes, which is as long as they're not fidgeting with the actual camera, okay. But I mean, your 100% focus should be on driving and not crashing or running over an object that just happens to be in the road. I know pallets fall off of trucks, wooden boards fall off of trucks. Uh, People don't tie their stuff down, so they end up losing dressers and freezers while they're moving. Some people just don't pay attention while they're driving because they're texting and they're swerving into the next lane. Excuse me, I've seen a ton of that. And nothing bugs me more if somebody actively on their phone typing something in. I just want to smack them on the back of the head because they're going to cause an accident, and it could have been avoided if you just get off your dang phone. Anyways, I wanted to record, me talking while I was driving, and I had bought some wireless mics not too long ago. They're made by Newer. Uh, they've been compared to the DJI ones, and there's almost no difference. The DJIs are slightly better, but if you're on a budget, I mean, these are perfect. I think I paid like $80. They've got a one for 120, just comes with more accessories. I really need to use that mic during these recordings as well. Right now, I'm just using my regular standalone mic. I'd rather be using my wireless ones because I can just get up and go and talk And anyway, with these wireless ones, I wanted to use them while I was driving, and I could talk and kill the hour by doing that, and still have coming up with content. Still being productive. But over the past few months, my because you have to have it plugged into either like a phone, a PC, or a tablet. I don't want to take my tablet with me because I don't want the heat to kill it. And I keep my phone on me at all times, so I'm not gonna leave it out in the blazing sun in my vehicle or somewhere at work where it could get stolen by someone with nefarious intentions. I'm not saying people are stealing stuff at work, but just in case. I'd rather not leave something expensive of mine, just lying around or having to constantly keep up with an extra device. Anyways, I wanted to use my old Android phone, but I think the problem with that one is it's too old, and the technology for the wireless mic is fairly new. And my old Android phone was like a cheap $100 phone, so it's buggy in general. Not dependable for phone calls. It's great, but for everything else, not so much. And my iPhone, well, the charge port gave out, like I want to say a couple months back, and you need to use the charge port to plug in the receiver, and I can't because it's not going to register it. So I've been charging my phone via the magnet charging. So I have a magnet charger now, so my phone stays charged and I can use it when I need to, but now I can't use it for recording because my Android phone's too glitchy and it'll lock. Like you can do, it's like if you want to monitor recording and make sure it's working, stop and then go back into it and be like, okay, everything's 100%. I can record. No, it freezes up and wants to use the phone mic on the phone, not the wireless one. It should be connected to. So that kind of sucks, and I can't use my iPhone. So I'm kind of out of that department altogether. So I'm just gonna, in the meantime, every now and then I'll just make a standalone video. I kind of want to do a in-person video. I do like the VTube motif. It's fun. It's neat. I like it. But at the same time, um, it's also easier just to do an in-person video. I got to make a little background setup, and I got to turn my. Well, I don't have to turn my PC around. I can just turn my camera facing this direction. That way, I have a pseudo set to depend on podcast wise. I have a light that I want to use and some other stuff. I just got to set it up. I'm just being the lazy. You know how that goes. Originally, I just wanted to use my phone because I couldn't get the wireless mics working. I was like, well, I'll just use the in-phone mic on my phone, and it just ended up being too quiet. And even if I boosted it, it would be terrible audio. So I basically talked about, I think I talked for about 45 minutes and I had to delete it because it's worthless at that point. So right now, this is the format I'm sticking into in the meantime. I plan on using those mics during a gameplay. I do want to play a game called it's that Block. That game Blocked with my brother, and since the wireless mics come with two, that'll be perfect because it'll pick both of us up separately. I just got to find time to play it. I mean, he's always playing League of Legends with his friends. If he's not playing League of Legends, it's some space game. Something like Woody from Toy Story is like, oh, it's that Space Cowboy new toy thing. Space is so great. It's taking over Andy. But No, that's something I do want to play with my brother. And having two mics is a super plus. So I will get used to those mics. I kind of want to use them more often in Let's Plays just because I think they automatically filter out a lot of sounds and it's just a whole lot cleaner because it's a better quality mic. I mean, I do have a quality mic, uh, but it's budget friendly because I'm not gonna go buy the most expensive mic out there. And then I've also noticed a lot of people that do edit audio. They're like, you don't need the what is it? Um, was it Igloo? I can't remember the name of the brand, but Blue Igloo. You don't need the top of the line stuff to get results. A lot of the problems has to do with editing and what kind of filters you put on your mic. Like this one, I just watch a YouTube video, put these filters on, and you'll get some good sound quality. And that's what I've been doing. And I've also been trying to keep it where my voice isn't booming so loudly. I know I've brought that up once or twice. But yeah, we'll be using those mics more often, hopefully soon. But kind of to wrap things up now, since I've hit the 1 hour mark, and I'm losing my voice a little bit, mainly because I guess I'm still in recovery with this tooth, and I have been talking nonstop for about an hour now. Usually, if you really think about it, it's not normal to talk nonstop for almost an hour. Usually, if you're talking to somebody, you're talking in bursts because you're having an actual physical conversation. So you talk, they listen, they give you feedback or their opinion, and you have a break between talking. So I kind of do get it now that I know I've watched different podcasts. People on podcasts usually do a run through the whole day where they do like 14 different people's podcasts in one day, especially like in California. They're like, well, I'm losing my voice here. Yeah, I get it. You do need breaks, so please bear with me. Anyways, the topics that I was trying to cover while doing a podcast in my vehicle while driving to work was what anime to watch, and my top three to watch was Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, and Tiger and Bunny. Um, can't remember the name of the author who did both Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. It is an older anime. I think I also recommended Bizarre JoJo's Bizarre Adventure just because I want to recommend shows to people that I've watched more than once. I want to say I've watched Yu Hakusho at least 6 times. It's just a good series. It's not too long. I believe it ends up within the 60 episode range, about 100%. Hunter x Hunter, really good series as well. Same author. Tiger and Bunny, I don't know who made that one, but that's a real good one. I do know for a fact you could still catch that on Netflix, maybe Hulu. And another one I've watched multiple times is Dorohedoro. And finally, after like 5 or 6 years, season two's coming out this year very soon. Super excited about that. Dorohedoro has the animation is not pretty. And it's kind of ugly, but not super ugly. It's just not pretty. And which makes sense because the world is real gritty. It's the bottom of society people ignore. These people live in a place called the Hole where wizards practice magic on them, and it's not cool to practice magic on people. I'll tell you that. Like if you have like, I think at the beginning, one of the guys, his magic ability is to turn people into bugs, and turning people into bugs is just not cool because they just leave them like that. But the story itself is solid. It's about a lizard. He's not a lizard. It's a guy who lost his memory, and he has a. I can't remember. The lizard is a Kaiman lizard, so they call him Kaiman, or resembles, or his lizard head resembles that of a Kaiman lizard. Anyways, he can't remember who he is. He's got a lizard head, and he's trying to find the guy that gave him a lizard head because he wants to be a normal human again because he doesn't want a freaking lizard head. So he's trying to find the wizard did it to undo it. And it's got a real good storyline, real good voice actors, despite the ugly. I'm probably leaning too far back in my chair now. Despite the not so pretty appearance of the anime, storyline is great. I've watched it multiple times, and like the writer, whoever wrote the story for this, like you start catching subtleties ahead of time, like all the hints that you would normally not catch on a first watch. Like you're like, oh my god, like the hints are like already there, like you find out when someone's lying when they shouldn't be, and you know the truth comes out there. Like that's the moment they were lying when they got caught. You know, basically, real good series. Yu Hakusho. I mean, they're all unconventional. I mean, remember Yu Hakusho came back on. It was released back on Cartoon Network, but it's really a 80s and 90s type anime, I want to say. But yeah, Yu Hakusho, you need to watch it. I'll talk about those more in the next video because I'm losing my voice. I really need to take a break. So, but yeah, if you want something to watch and solid, good story, great characters, um, good world building, watch Yu Yu Hakusho if you can. I believe it's on. Is it still called Crunchyroll? Yeah, I think it's Crunchyroll because the anime network's gone, or they got absorbed into Crunchyroll. Hunter x Hunter, I know you can catch it on. I want to say Crunchyroll, but it's definitely on Netflix. Watch it on Netflix if you can. Tiger and Bunny, same thing as on Netflix, and I believe it was on Hulu at one point. Dorohedoro, also on Netflix. Real good Halloween anime to watch, in my opinion. Just watching in general. Other than that, I can feel my voice slipping away. I also want to talk about on Steam a new. It's not so much a game as it is a program came out where people who do VTube, kind of like me and others, they have a little bitty thing where they made custom emotes you can make for in-stream or in your videos in general. You can basically recreate your character in there, and it's pretty neat, and give them different emotes. Right now, I think it's just female characters because I haven't seen really male models. I mean, you can just. I mean, it's new, so I'm hoping they update it or at least give like a pack where you have more options for the eyes. It's primarily focused on female VTubers, but I mean, you can just take the eyelashes off and hate the dude. But it's like a little bitty chibi character. It's real neat. A lot of people on, I think YouTube were talking about it, especially in the on Twitter and formerly Twitter, now X. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I mean, it's already an hour 15. I think I did a pretty good job talking wise, and I'm gonna give myself a break. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, if you are enjoying the content, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe. It's gonna help me out in the long run. And I thank you for watching, and peace out, Girl Scouts.